Taurus, what's going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Taurus love reading. Today we're going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. Keep in mind, this is a timeless reading, so whether this is going to talk about something that you're currently dealing with or something from your recent past, just know that you're finding this reading now because you're supposed to watch it now. So let's get started here. Let's get one card. What's the mutual point of interest between Taurus? Okay, we're taking two. Wouldn't even let me finish my sentence. Fine, no problem. What's going on with you, Taurus? How you been? What's going on with Taurus as it relates to their person of interest and the connection between them? Okay. I ask how you been, and the very first card that pops out for you is the Tower. Okie dokie. Gonna be one of those, huh? What's going on with your person, Taurus? What's going on with Taurus's romantic person of interest as it relates to Taurus and the connection between them? All right, we'll take that. What do we have here? The overall energy of this reading, 8 of Cups. This is Pisces energy. This is emotionally detaching, sometimes physically detaching and walking away. The person on the card is walking away from 8 full cups of love, and they're doing that because they believe there's something better out there for them. So sometimes this is a case where maybe your person thought the grass might be greener on the other side of the fence and they had to go walk away to find out if it was. Sometimes this is advice for you and letting you know that if you look at this honestly and detach emotionally from it, you'll realize that 8 cups is the best you've ever gotten from this person. And it's not because they're, an evil person or whatever. It's because 8 cups is legitimately the best they're capable of. And this, in that case, would be letting you recognize that and then making the difficult conscious decision to walk away from what you have to go down a new path in search of your 9th and your 10th cup, your own happiness and fulfillment, the happily ever after that you really want, where the person that you're pouring your love into is also pouring their love back into you equally, and everyone's loved and fully happy and fully appreciated. This is either someone thinks it might be better somewhere else or instructions for you in that regard. Below the surface of that, 2 of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. 2s are choices, and this is a choice between 2 physical things where I can't have both of them and I have to choose this one or that one. Like, do I or don't I? Should I or shouldn't I? It's 2 conflicting options, and it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of an energy. So it's not fully mind made up, not fully committed one direction or the other. It might be flip-flopping back and forth where one day I want to walk away from this and then the next day I don't want to walk away from it, and that could be changing back and forth. In the very negative sense, this can be someone who's juggling 2 different people. I don't know that yet. I don't necessarily think that. It's just some sort of looking like a decision about do I walk away or not. And right below the surface of that is Libra energy of the 2 of Swords. So I've got 2 2s in a row. 2s are choices. This is a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet for some reason. The lady on the card is blindfolded, and that blindfold can represent that I just don't have enough information available to me in order to make this decision, which is why I haven't made it yet. But that blindfold can also sometimes represent someone not wanting to see something. It can be blinders that someone has on, and they're not taking the blinders off because there's something about this I don't want to see. I don't want to look at it. I don't want that to be true. And avoiding something could be preventing a decision that needs to be made. So that's the gist of what it looks like this reading is going to talk to me about. We might come back to that more as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way. It doesn't always affect you both the same way. Sometimes this person will do this and you'll feel the consequences, or vice versa. Sometimes they'll say or do something that makes you feel or act this way, or vice versa. But that's shared energy affecting you both. We got 2 cards instead of 1. We got the Hanged Man and the 10 of Pentacles. The Hanged Man is more Pisces energy. This is progress being halted. No forward movement is happening. Things are stuck and at a dead stop. The Hanged Man is hanging upside down, though, because he's trying to look at things from a different perspective than he normally would, a different point of view than he would normally look at things from. And he's doing that because he's trying to figure out What has me stuck? And how do I get unstuck so I can move forward the way I want to? The challenge with that kind of an energy is he's looking at things from a different perspective, and things are external to us. So this is not like the hermit in that I'm looking at myself for what adjustments do I make to me. This is looking at things or situations or other people that are external, and what about that has this stuck? What about that needs changed so I can move forward? So this can just indicate that progress is halted and there's no movement. It could indicate that the problem is actually outside of the two of you. It can indicate that maybe we're playing this blame game here and looking at each other for why this isn't moving instead of looking at ourselves for why this isn't moving. But with that energy, we get the 10 of Pentacles, Virgo energy. This is maximum stability, abundance, and prosperity. This is most people's goal in the physical reality. This can also represent the combining together of two people or two families, all their assets and resources to build something stable, to build a life together. I get this card a lot for people when they're married or when they're living together or when they're going down that kind of a path of combining lives together. But we've got this stuck energy attached to that combined together life. So let's clarify that for you. Tell me more about Hanged Man, 10 of Pentacles, please. Why is that here? I just had the Empress flip up and show herself to me, but then she went face down and went right back in the deck. That doesn't mean the Empress energy isn't present. It just means it's kind of being suppressed right now. It's here. That's why it showed itself to me. Below the surface of this Hanged Man 10 of Pentacles, I get the Hermit. This is Virgo's major arcana card. This is a card of withdrawal, isolation. Usually this can represent communication shutting down. And if it hasn't shut down completely, it's probably dramatically different than it used to be. This is a card of soul searching. It's about deep inner reflection, deep contemplation. It's about looking down inside the shadows of myself, trying to figure out what adjustments do I need to make about me so things can move forward the way that I want them to. Now, I just kind of referenced that, the opposite of that with the Hanged Man. These two cards, the Hanged Man and the Hermit, are very similar in the sense that they're both really about trying to figure out what do I do moving forward from here. Like I said, though, the difference is in where their focus is placed. The Hanged Man is looking outside of himself for what out here is to blame, what out here needs adjusted so I can move forward. And the Hermit is looking internally. He's looking at himself for what adjustments do I make about me so this can move forward. I've got Temperance right below that, more major arcana energy. This is Sagittarius energy. This is an energy of patience. It's about not being in a big hurry, not being in a big rush, being willing to do things one step at a time, a little bit at a time, and then make some fine-tuning adjustments along the way. In another sense, this card can represent reconciliation because in tarot, water represents love and emotions. And here the love has been separated into two different cups, and this angel is recombining it back together. The other thing that Temperance can represent is something being incredibly out of whack. This is a recalibration kind of an energy, like making adjustments to something, trying to recalibrate it, trying to even it back out. So this can usually indicate that something is dramatically off here, and this kind of is pointing out the need to readjust some stuff. It's looking like right now, between the two of you, there's this external focus about the combined together life. And this looks like it's suggesting if you really want to recalibrate some stuff, the focus needs to be directed inside. And that's not aimed specifically at you. It's probably aimed a little bit at both of you here. This will become more clear as we go along. I got the Four of Pentacles right below that. That's Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. Now, when I clarify the Hanged Man and the Ten of Pentacles, I get the Page of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. Okay, Page of Wands. Pages are messengers, so this can be news and messages and communications about passion and desire, passionate messages. Could be expressing interest or desire, talking about what it is that I want. This is the minor arcana version of the Fool card. And the Fool is about just taking a blind leap of faith on something new. And this is a more toned down version of that energy. This is not the person who's just going to leap off the cliff and figure it out as he goes, but this can be someone who has the willingness to take the very first steps down a brand new path towards something there's passion and desire for. It's bringing me back to this Eight of Cups as the overall energy. This is about walking away from what I have to go down a brand new path toward my ninth and my 10th cup, or what I believe is going to lead me to that. Central to these clarifiers of this Hanged Man and the Ten of Pentacles is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new physical, tangible opportunity presenting itself. It's not an idea or a concept. This is something that I can touch. It's a physical thing, but there's some sort of an opportunity present here. And it looks like communicating about what I want and moving toward an opportunity. Sometimes that physical opportunity can represent another person that there's a physical opportunity with to move forward in some kind of a passionate way. And then I get the Ace of Cups with that, which is a new beginning in love and emotions. This usually represents a new person showing up where there's a new beginning in that emotional sense. But this can sometimes represent trying to fill this cup back up between the two of you and trying to kind of start over at square one in terms of love and emotions. So I'm not 100% sure how to take that yet. And it's not uncommon at the beginning stage of these readings that I don't fully understand exactly what it's trying to tell me yet. These are like murder mysteries to me. I piece it together as I go along. So that's the shared energy. I will come back to that as I go through your energy, Taurus, because then it'll make more sense on how that applies to you. I will come back to it again as I go through your person's energy to see how it applies to them. That's the shared energy. Your energy and the connection, Taurus. Your first card is always the most important. You got the Tower. Central to your energy is the Nine of Wands. And your final card is Justice. So you got 2 out of the 3 cards, Major Arcana cards. I've seen quite a bit of Major Arcana energy already. That's usually heavy, powerful energy affecting you. This Tower card is a foundation rocking event. This is the collapse of some important structure in your life. It's a game changer. Like once the Tower happens and something comes crashing down all around you, things are never the same. Now, sometimes this Tower can represent the collapse of the relationship itself. Sometimes the Tower can represent the collapse of a belief system that you have about the relationship. You know, in other words, like the way that I believed things were going to be, like I believed we were going to combine our lives together and build a life together and live that way. And now something has happened to cause this emotional detaching, and now nothing's quite the same. I'm wondering what this Two of Pentacles is. Like I said, that can represent juggling 2 people. I do have a new physical opportunity, a new pentacle showing up here. That could be something leading to juggling. That could be what this Ace of Cups is. Hell, that could be what has brought the Tower down. So let me clarify that and see what else I can find out for you. Why is the Tower the first card for Taurus here in this connection, please? Okay, we're taking a whole mess of extra cards, it looks like. I just had 3 pop up right there. You, and you. Well, normally I get 3 clarifiers. I just got 7 for this one. So clearly this Tower is something big and important that we need to talk about here. So below the surface of the Tower, the High Priestess. This is your intuition. This is the gut feelings, the signs, the synchronicities, a dream that has a message in it. It's some form of internal knowing where you don't really have the facts on anything. This is just more like I can feel it. It's like I know without having any way of knowing. This is your internal guidance system talking to you about something. The problem with the intuition is most people have a really hard time listening to it, because 9 times out of 10, your intuition is going to tell you something that you don't want to hear. It's going to tell you something that you don't want to be true. And without having the facts to support it, it's really hard for most people to listen to that, because first, we don't have facts to support it. And second, we don't want that shit to be true anyway. So usually we'll try to push this off to the side or sweep it under the rug or tune it out or ignore it and pretend like it's not talking to us when it is. Below the surface of that is the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's the sword you make decisions with. I do see here below the surface of the overall energy 2 decision cards, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, a decision that's not being made when it needs made, and I'll be damned, right below that, Ace of Swords, the sword of truth, the sword you make the decisions with. It's also the sword that you would use to cut away something from your life that's either not in balance or to sever a connection. Damn, right below the surface of that, I've got the Empress, the birth of something new. She usually represents the birth of a new connection. And behind that, I've got the Lovers and the High Priestess again. So the Lovers is a card that used to be called the Choice a long time ago. Contrary to what you'll hear most tarot readers on YouTube try to tell you, that the Lovers means twin flames or some bullshit like that, and it absolutely does not. It never has meant twin flames. The Rider-Waite Tarot deck came out in 1908, 1909. Twin flames didn't even get made up until the 1970s, so it's not real to begin with. And secondly, how could this card mean twin flames if it came out 60 some years before twin flames were ever even a thing? So what this card is really about is the interconnectedness between people. And when you're in a connection with someone, their choices are going to impact you. In fact, this card a long time ago used to be called the Choice before it was ever had the name changed to the Lovers. So this is about the choices that you make affect each other. It's about a choice about this connection. It's about a choice between more than one person sometimes. And I've got your intuition here screaming at you about that. Whether that's a choice about the connection itself or something is going on in the background that shouldn't be going on, like the birth of something new. I've got some element of truth and severing related to that. Oh man, when I clarify the Tower, we got 7 of them here. I got the 4 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles again, the King of Cups, the Star, the 3 of Swords, the Emperor, and the Wheel of Fortune. The 4 of Cups is Cancer energy. This is about not being fully emotionally happy or content with what I have in front of me, so much so that I'm daydreaming about this other cup, this other thing that I believe would lead me to my happiness and fulfillment if I had that. Now, that Ace of Cups is out here in the shared energy, and it's here hanging in the air. Sometimes this is a case where I'm not fully happy being together here, and there's this other person that's on my mind. Sometimes this is I'm not happy because the collapse has happened of us being together. The 3 cups in the front represents being together. And maybe I'm not happy because I've lost that and I can't stop thinking about that, maybe trying to fill the cup back up. The other way you could take this card is the person is looking at 3 cups. And in addition to being together, 3 cups also represents a third party love triangle thing, because there are 3 cups of love in the picture here. And maybe I can't get that other person you brought in out of my head. Next, I get the 2 of Pentacles, which we saw 2 cards deep in the overall energy. We got someone walking away to go see if the grass is greener, potentially juggling 2 people, maybe trying to decide if I should walk away or not. But this 2 of Pentacles here, again, Capricorn energy, it's a choice between 2 physical things. Could be juggling 2 people is what it's starting to look like to me. I got King of Cups next. This is Scorpio energy. This usually would mean that you have a lot of love and emotions for your person. It usually also means that your person probably has a lot of love and emotions for you too. But the problem with the King of Cups is this is someone who doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve. So they don't publicly broadcast how they feel about things. This could be a person who is madly in love with you and you would never know because they don't express it. But likewise, like the water around his feet is rough and choppy, and that represents rough, choppy emotions. But his face has no expression on it. So this is like someone who could be going through emotional turmoil and you would have no idea because they don't tell you. I have to tell you that a lot of times when I get the King of Cups on this side of the table for the person I'm reading for, a lot of times that will be like you have so much love and emotions for this person that you might be giving them too much credit. You might be giving them credit for, you know, I've got a Page energy out here, like not fully developed all the way. This could be your feelings about them causing you to look at them for the potential that you see in them as opposed to what you actually are seeing from them. Hard to tell on that one yet. Next, I got the Star. This is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. Sometimes it's a card of wish fulfillment. A lot of times this will represent having the hope that we can heal this situation. This is also the card that comes immediately after the Tower in the sequence of the Major Arcana cards. So you don't make it to the Star without going through a Tower moment of some kind first, where something important collapses. The Tower usually represents the collapse of the old, and the Star is usually about the hope for the new or the hope for the future. Having hope tied to your person, that maybe they're going to start making their decisions with their heart instead of some other way, or maybe hoping that the love that I have for them can let us like rebalance this thing. Next, I have the Three of Swords, Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness, usually from a third energy. Now, that third energy is not always a romantic third party. It definitely can be that, but it's not always that. Sometimes that third energy is like working too much or watching too much television or partying too much. Like anything that we humans do enough of is eventually going to pick up its own energy. This would represent that there's something that's not necessarily you, not necessarily your person, getting involved and causing some sort of a problem. And now there's hope here tied to this idea of heartbreak and the collapse of something. Next, I get the Emperor, which is the Aries Major Arcana card. This is an energy of taking control, taking charge of a situation. This is someone who puts together a plan to get what they want. They execute the plan to get what they want. This is the person who's calling the shots, making the rules, setting the boundaries. Very rarely is this the person that I'm doing the reading for, you in this case. This is almost always the other person or some external force that's kind of like running the show in reality here. This is like saying I'm heartbroken and they're in control of that. I have hope that we can overcome this, but they're in control of that. Even the decision here that hasn't been made, that's kind of still being batted around, is tied directly to them. I'm getting ahead of myself. I kind of have to, but your person got two cards in their final position, and one of them is the Emperor. So I'm fairly certain that that Emperor isn't you as much as it is them. And the final card that I got here to clarify the Tower is the Wheel of Fortune. In terms of zodiac signs, this represents the four fixed signs of the zodiac: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. This is a change in luck and fortune. So if things are going great and this card comes out, that's a pretty sure bet that things are going to take an unexpected turn for the worst. If things are already going bad when this card comes out, that can be a sign that you want to like turn the wheel the other way and correct course and put us back on the right track. But the problem is the Emperor is in control of the wheel and not necessarily you. The other thing that this can represent is a repeating cycle of something happening again. So it could be having a repeating cycle of someone being controlling, or someone controlling things and causing a heartbreak and keeping you in a spot where hope is the only thing that can get you through. Could be a repeating cycle of that. Central for your energy, Taurus, we get the Nine of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. This is a defensive energy. It's about being walled off and defensive. This is the wounded warrior, so it's also an energy of healing. But he's built this wall around himself because he's been hurt. It's his defense mechanism. It's his way of trying to protect himself so he doesn't get hurt, so he doesn't continue to get hurt. He's trying to heal and get his energy right so he can take the next step in his journey. So this can indicate you've been hurt. It can indicate that maybe your emotional walls are up. It could even indicate that some barrier has been placed in your way, potentially by your person here. Tell me about this Nine of Wands, please. Why is that the central energy for Taurus in this connection? Below the surface of that Nine of Wands is the Hermit. Again, Virgo Major Arcana energy. This is card 9 of the Major Arcana. I'm clarifying the Nine of Wands. The Hermit rules over the nines of the four suits. Again, withdrawal, isolation. That could be the wall that's in the way. We're not talking anymore. Could be communication has shut completely down or is vastly different because walls have come up. This could be you are doing some soul searching right now, trying to figure out, what do I do moving forward from here? What adjustments do I make to me as I move forward so I don't get hurt or so I can get past this wall? I get this Hermit card a lot when someone gets ghosted and the other person just abruptly leaves. I get this card a lot when I don't really have closure on what happened. They're not communicating to me. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just lacking closure here. Below the Hermit is Temperance again. Sagittarius Major Arcana card. It's about trying to recalibrate some things. Now, this is not supposed to be a recalibration of the connection nearly as much as this is supposed to be a recalibration of your internal world, your emotional world, trying to get yourself evened back out and recalibrated here. That's probably why you're being instructed to look inside yourself and not outside yourself. I think that might be part of what this shared energy is trying to tell me. This is like right now looking at this combined together life and maybe the collapse of it and what to do to turn it around and heal it. And that's all being, the focus is being placed externally to you. Probably why your person is showing up as being the one in control of whether this gets fixed or not. And I think it's supposed to be you looking inside yourself, not outside yourself to them. When I clarify this Nine of Wands, I get the Ten of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. The Ten of Swords is Gemini energy. This is a swift, painful ending. Sometimes this is an ending you didn't see coming, which is why the swords are in this person's back. If they saw it coming, the swords would be in their front. Sometimes this is an ending in betrayal, which again is why the swords are in their back. They got stabbed in the back. That could be the thing that led you to being hurt here and having your walls up, is that this came to an end. That Nine of Wands is sitting right beside the Tower. This Ten of Swords is sitting right beside Four of Cups. Came to an end. I'm not happy when we're together, and there's this other thing that would make me happy if I had it. Hell, it could be I'm not happy because we're not together, and I keep thinking about us being able to get past this wall and heal it and start over at the beginning again. But likewise, this could also represent we got a third party involved that ended it, and I can't get that person out of my head now. Next clarifier for the Nine of Wands is the Four of Pentacles, Capricorn energy again. This is an energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. It's got, something is dead here. Like, you're not going to get 10 swords in your back and then go to the hospital and get a couple of stitches and be back tomorrow and, everything's just totally fine now. This person's dead. And we got this idea of holding on tightly to something that's dead and not wanting to let go of something that's dead. And there's this idea of trying to rebalance it here, trying to get the balance back here, trying to even it back out. Next, I got the Seven of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is a period of time where you're pausing to reflect and take stock of this connection, take stock of this whole situation you're finding yourself in. And it's about trying to decide if the seeds that we've planted together are ever going to turn into the Ten of Pentacles that I really want. That Ten of Pentacles is out here in the shared energy affecting you both with this stuck Hanged Man energy with it. This is about where you're investing your time, effort, and energy. Is this worth me continuing to invest myself in? Or is this a spot where maybe it's never going to pan out the way I want it to? Maybe it's just stuck and it's not going to get unstuck. And maybe this is time for me to cut my losses and move on. So this is that period of time where you contemplate that kind of stuff while you're still kind of holding on to it. It's sitting right beside how you feel about your person. Now, I read these in columns and then I connect it in rows as I go down. And this first column with the Tower has 4 cards so far that have absolutely nothing to connect with it. So I've got hope that we can heal this, but there's a gap in the information. There's a void in the information right beside it. And the only thing connected to that void is this idea of contemplating it over a period of time. So it's looking like having hope, but not seeing any actual progress. Next card for you here, Taurus, is Justice. This is the Libra Major Arcana card. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. It's about cutting away something that's not in balance or that's not fair. It's like cutting that away so balance can be restored and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. This card shows up to point out the fact that something unfair or unjust or unbalanced is going on and there's a need to correct that. Tell me about Justice, please. Why is that the final card here for Taurus in this connection, please? Yeah, that Tower was a big thing. Like normally I get 3 clarifiers and you gave me 3 clarifiers in column 2 and 3, but I got 7 for that Tower. So that's shaking things up for you quite a bit. Below the surface of Justice, 3 of Pentacles, more Capricorn energy. This is teamwork and collaboration and working together as equals to build something of value. This is laying the foundations for this 10 of Pentacles that we keep having to refer back to in the shared energy. This is like the foundational stage where we're actually working together equally to lay the groundwork for this. But there's something unbalanced tied to that, something unfair tied to that. I've got someone emotionally detached and distant, probably going off to see if the grass is greener. There's no progress happening on this combined together life. That usually indicates that they're not in this the same way as you. You're putting in all this effort. You're the one doing all the investing here and not getting anything back in return, probably. Yeah, Ace of Swords. It's about looking at the truth of that and making some sort of a decision about this working together as equals thing. Yeah, because that's what you want. I got Queen of Wands right behind it. This is either Aries or Leo energy. This is a bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows what she wants. She goes after it. She doesn't take no for an answer. But it's beyond just knowing what you want. This is a person who also knows what she's worthy of and what she deserves, and she won't accept less than that. I think that's why it's saying look at the truth and make some sort of a decision here. I've got this emotionally detached energy, a decision where I'm going back and forth about something and haven't quite made up my mind, a decision where there's a piece of it I don't want to see, and avoiding that is stopping me from making a decision. I got the sword you make the decision with again right behind that. Now, because also right behind that Ace of Swords is the Empress, the birth of something new, and then your intuition talking to you either about a choice about this connection or a choice between lovers. This is starting to look like there's somebody else in the background here with your person. And maybe that's the truth that you don't want to see, that there is someone else, but your intuition is probably not letting you avoid that. Okay, getting myself all tangled up here. The other thing that Queen of Wands can mean is this is the fire sign queen. You're an earth sign. So this is the fire queen, aka the hot queen, the person that I would have all this attraction and desire and passion for and sexual energy toward, being very attractive. That could be telling you that while we're doing this working together as equals routine, the reason it's stuck, the truth is that there's someone else in the background. That could represent the other woman here. And that could be talking to me about what the unfair, unjust, out of balance thing is. What do we got here? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune decided to take a dive off the table. The pivotal moment where things changed. Could even be a repeating cycle of having this person I'm attracted to in the background. When I clarify Justice, there's the High Priestess again, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. The High Priestess, again, that's your intuition, gut feelings, signs. This is internal knowing where, like I said, your intuition is yelling at you about something. Something unfair is happening. There's some sort of an ending that I don't see coming. Next I get this Page of Swords. This is an energy of someone who's trying to learn something or figure something out. This can be snooping and spying and, investigating, researching, digging for clues, asking a bunch of questions. Technically, what I'm doing right now, digging through all of your energy, can be classified as the Page of Swords because I'm snooping around. This could be my intuition is telling me something and it won't leave me alone. So now I'm out here actively looking for information here, because normally when the High Priestess is here, I don't have facts. And this is usually either someone looking for the information or uncovering the information either on accident or on purpose. Like sometimes this can be an external person that sees something and tells you about it. But there's my intuition telling me something's out of balance here, something unfair is going on, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do, but also at the same time trying to figure out how to hold on to this and not let go of it, how to get the balance back, how to rebalance this. Also could be trying to figure out, are they juggling two people? This is looking like a case where you have strong feelings that that's what's going on, but don't necessarily have any way to verify it. Final clarifier for justice for you, Taurus, is the Queen of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy. I would expect to see you show up as Queen of Pentacles more than I would expect to see you show up as the Queen of Wands. Now, don't get me wrong, that does not mean that you can't be attractive and charming and good looking and fun to be around and, someone have all this attraction to you. Totally can be that. That could even just be talking about what you desire, but this is the Earth sign queen here. This is usually wife type energy, very grounded, stable, abundant, nurturing kind of an energy. This doesn't have to mean legally married wife. This could just mean maybe you were viewing yourself as the other half of the equation here. The Queen of Pentacles makes the Ten of Pentacles by working together as equals with the King of Pentacles. And I've got you out here, but I don't have them out here, which kind of brings me back to what I said about this. It doesn't feel like they're in it the same way that you are. And sometimes it's not just the cards that come out on the table that tell me what's happening. Sometimes it's the cards that don't come out on the table and that I don't see head or tail of in the below the surface energy that tells me what's going on. And I haven't seen King of Pentacles at all. Now in this row, I've got Queen of Pentacles going through some period of time where maybe you're waiting on something to pan out the way you want it to. And connected to that is your emotions and your feelings about this person and potentially the potential that you see in them and the credit you're giving them. But if that's the case, you're still waiting on those feelings to pan out. You're waiting on the potential to actually pan out. And again, next row down, only one card in that row is your hope. And hope is one of those tricky things, man, because sometimes hope is the only thing that gets us through. And in those cases, we absolutely need hope. But sometimes hope, it's not what's getting us through. It's the thing that's stopping us from letting go of something that's pulling us under the water. It's the chain around our neck that stops us from getting our head above the water so we can breathe. It stops us from freeing ourselves from the heartbreak. It's the thing that controls us staying in the heartbreak and keeps us in a repeating cycle of heartbreak. Sometimes hope, like I said, is great, but false hope, misplaced hope, pathological hope, those are all types of hope that are really a trap. That's your energy in this connection, Taurus. Let's take a look at your person's energy, because this is probably where you're going to find out what you really want to know here. First card for your person is the most important. We get Four of Wands. Central for your person's energy, Ten of Swords. And their final card came out as two, Five of Pentacles and the Emperor. This Four of Wands is Aries energy. Fours are stability. So this is stability of the home life, the family life, the connection. These Four Wands represent 1111, which is also not about twin flames. That's something that whole twin flame community hijacked a long time ago. The Four of Wands is about manifesting. Even if you look at the Magician card, the Master Manifester, he's got the four aces on the table. The aces are the wands. The 4 Wands, 1111, the Master Manifester. In this card, the 4 Wands represent the thing that I want has been manifested. It's here, physically present, physically stable in the physical reality. It's a celebration kind of an energy. Tell me about this 4 of Wands, please. Why is that the first card for Taurus's person? Okay. And notice how it worked on your side. I got a whole buttload of extra cards, and then you gave me 3 on the first shuffle. Now I'm having to go round 2 in shuffling to get anything out of them here. Like they don't want to talk, and as I'm saying that, the card that pops out is a defensiveness kind of an energy here. Below the surface of that 4 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles. Teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to build something of value, Capricorn energy. So there is some stability here between the two of you at this initial stage of the energy. And below that 3 of Pentacles is the Ace of Swords again. Sword of truth and clarity, the sword I would use to cut something out of my life, make some sort of a decision to sever this working together as equals bit. Son of a bitch. And I get the Wheel of Fortune jumping off the table again. Now I realize that's probably just my elbow doing that, so I'm going to move this up and get a little more room. Yeah, and the reason the working together as equals gets severed, the truth about that is the Queen of Wands in the background. That's the thing that they've manifested, that they have the passion and desire and interest in, this other person that they have attraction for. When I clarify 4 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, 7 of Wands. 5 of Pentacles is Taurus energy. 5s are conflict and change. This is an abandonment. This is being cast aside, being left out in the cold, being discarded, walked away from. This is a breakup energy. So I've got this stability of home and family, stability of a connection with you. Your first card is the Tower, the collapse of all that. And their first clarifier is leaving all that behind and abandoning it. Next, I've got the 2 of Swords, which again is Libra energy of a decision that needs made, hasn't been made. It's 3 cards deep in the overall energy behind another decision energy. There's this detaching and walking away, potentially juggling 2 people, a decision that I haven't made yet, which is to sever this connection, to go birth something new. They've already made up their mind that that's what they want, is to disconnect. They just haven't done it yet. They haven't abandoned ship yet. Normally this goes chronological order, where first column is something that's already happened, and the closer I get to the end is more and more current. So at this early stage here, they have stability with you. Something ain't moving with this combined together life. They've got interest somewhere else. They're talking somewhere else. They have the willingness to go in this new direction toward this new opportunity that presents itself, which is probably with this hot queen here. And they've got a new love interest here. They just, at this stage, haven't actually decided to walk away yet. Final clarifier for 4 of Wands is 7 of Wands, Leo energy, defensive energy. This is them defending their position, defending their stance on this, fighting to protect what they want, what they desire, fighting to get what they want, probably even being a little bit defensive. I keep seeing High Priestess for you, which is where you feel it. You know something's wrong. You probably figured it out the moment they changed emotionally, the moment they felt emotionally distant. That was probably your first clue that something is amiss here. This is them probably being defensive, like, no, nothing's wrong. What are you talking about? No, I don't have a new opportunity. No, I'm not talking to anybody else. No, this isn't stuck. There's some defensiveness on their side here. Central for their energy, 10 of Swords, Gemini energy. We saw that over here on your side. It's your first clarifier in your central column. A swift, painful ending. An ending you don't see coming, an ending in betrayal. No matter how you slice this, this is an ending. Tell me about this 10 of Swords. Why is that central for Taurus's person in this connection, please? Let's get 2 more on that, please. See, again, same dynamic. I'm having to shuffle through another time. It's like pulling teeth to get answers out of this person. See, now I'm going to have to go one more time. Yeah, I don't like that kind of energy there. Oh, now they're going to give me an extra one. Okay. I don't like this at all. Below the surface of that Ten of Swords ending, King of Swords. Aquarius energy. This is a very smart, logical, thinking, cerebral kind of a person. This is a decision-making energy, but it's someone that when they make their decisions, they throw their emotions out the window. They don't give a shit how they feel or how you feel or how anybody feels. This is someone who's only looking at the truth and the facts and what can I see right in front of me? What can I verify with my own eyes? They're going to decide based on what I know, not based on what I feel. Now, that can be a very emotionally distant, emotionally detached, cold and calculated kind of an energy here. The Hermit. This is communication shutting down. This is probably ghosting. Ten of Swords, you didn't see it coming. Like this is feeling calculated. Like they were internally looking for answers here. Ten of Pentacles. Okay, there's the combined together life, the building a life together. I've got that out here with the Hanged Man as the shared energy affecting you. I have no doubt that you guys were committed to each other, probably physically together, maybe physically living together even. Not necessarily, but totally possible. Like I said, I get the Hermit card quite a bit when someone gets ghosted and there's no closure and there's the swift ending and betrayal or an ending you don't see coming from this person to this combined together life that's not moving. When I clarify Ten of Swords, Death, Knight of Swords, Temperance, Three of Pentacles. Death is the Scorpio Major Arcana. This is an ending. This is something dying where there's like this painful transition period following the ending, a painful transformation following the ending. Look, there's three cards that can very quickly and easily indicate something's over. The Tower, which is your very first card. The Ten of Swords, which is central to your person's energy. It's also the first clarifier in your central column. And Death, which also means something's over. The dude's got 10 swords in his back. He's dead. Death is here. It's dead. Right beside that, abandonment, walking away, leaving it behind. Because this other thing that I want has arrived. I don't see any way around. Like this is screaming from their point of view, central in their energy. This is over. I get Nine of Swords as the next clarifier for the Ten of Swords. This is the fastest knight in the deck. This is someone who rushes forward and takes this decisive action on something. Either they don't need to think about it anymore because they've already thought about it and it's just time to act, or this is the person who rushes off and does something like spur of the moment, like impulsive, reckless decision maker who just does it and they don't think about it until afterwards. I don't think that's the case because it's sitting right beside the decision that needs made and hasn't been made related to abandoning this. I think they already had made the decision and at this early stage they just hadn't acted on it and they were still being defensive about being emotionally detached, being defensive about having another person on the side. Anytime you probably brought up what your intuition was telling you, they're probably nuh-uh and ducking and dodging and bobbing and weaving. Next we get Temperance. Seen it a couple times. Sagittarius Major Arcana. This is them trying to combine themselves together to make something new somewhere else, probably. It's also an indicator that something is very dramatically out of whack, that it kind of needs rebalancing here. But I don't think they want to rebalance anything. It's got defensive, defend my stance, defend my position, fight to protect what I want right beside it. And then Three of Pentacles again. Teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals. Like, this is a very weird dynamic. It's over. It's dead. I've already done this thing that I can't undo at this point. But then we got this kind of like reconciling, rebalancing, recalibrating of the combined, like working together as equals aspect here. That feels a lot like somebody trying to keep you holding on. Like, literally your center card is holding on and not wanting to let go, and trying to figure out what to do to be able to hold on, trying to figure out how to rebalance this so I can keep holding on. I've got this hope here that's got absolutely nothing beside it, like no evidence to support the hope, no actions being taken to support maintaining hope in it. Only thing here tied to the hope is your heartbreak and them being in control of a repeating cycle. This is really looking to me like I'm completely done. I have no desire to do this anymore. I've already started the steps down the new path toward this new opportunity I have, toward this new love interest that I have. This isn't going anywhere. It's stuck. But I would like to keep this idea on the table that we're still working together and that we can recalibrate this. This is really looking like a person who's trying to stop you from moving on, even though they already have. Final card in your person's energy is the Five of Pentacles and the Emperor. Five of Pentacles was your person's very first clarifier, Taurus energy of abandonment, breakup kind of an energy. The final card that came out with that is the Emperor, which is also out here. This is the person controlling your heartbreak. This is the person controlling the repeating cycle, or whether or not we can correct course and put this back on the right track. They're in control of that, and their point of view is abandonment. Tell me about this Five of Pentacles Emperor, please. Yeah, I got one flip up right. Yeah, they are making it difficult on me. They don't want to give me all the cards at once. Half the time they don't want to talk, and I have to dig it out of them. And then when they do come out, they stay in the deck right side up, and I have to go dig it out, or they jump on the floor and I have to bend over and pick it up. Like, this is a person who just doesn't want to be forthcoming. When I look below the surface of this abandonment and the Emperor, I get the Hermit again. Again, really feeling like they aren't talking, they aren't giving you closure. This is mum's the word. Yeah, King of Swords. This is someone acting in their own best interest. Ruthless, cold, calculated, emotionally distant, emotionally detached. And then I get Eight of Wands right behind that. This is very fast forward moving Sagittarius energy. This is like rapid back and forth passionate communications happening, rapid forward movement, rapid progress on something they have a lot of passion and desire for. This can be travel. This can be just everything happening all at once, coming out of left field. Again, I've seen twice now this idea that I didn't see this coming. I've seen no facts. I've seen intuition a few times where I can feel something's off, but it's telling me shit I don't want to be true, and maybe I didn't listen to it. This is feeling like everything happens all at once here with this abandonment and them taking this power position. When I clarify Five of Pentacles and the Emperor, I get Queen of Wands again, Queen of Cups, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups. Now, Queen of Wands, we've already talked about. That's Aries or Leo energy. That's the fire element queen, the hot queen, the person I have the passion and attraction, sexual energy toward. This is the other person. It's tied directly to death and abandonment in the same row. And she's tied to abandonment and them taking control directly right there. She's definitely the source of part of the problem here. Then I get the Queen of Cups, which I have two queens in their energy. I said right here we got emotionally detached, going to see if the grass is greener on the other side. The very next card is someone juggling two people, two physical opportunities, and I haven't made a decision yet at that stage, which is the early stage here. There's that I haven't made a decision to walk away and abandon ship yet. But the very next card down is the severing taking place and the truth about this birth of something new that your intuition was telling you the whole time, that there's a choice between more than one lover. And there's even the magician with that, which is them manifesting this through their thoughts and their actions, creating the world to be the way they want it to be. Like, they created this situation that I'm reading about. They're the one in the power seat here. They're the one whose control changed everything and caused this heartbreak where you're basically chained to something heartbreaking and calling it hope when it's really just the thing keeping you stuck. And I think that's not your fault. I think that's them trying to keep you hanging on for whatever reason they're doing that. Like I said, a lot of times this whole grass is greener on the other side thing doesn't pan out the way they expect it to. And if it doesn't, they try to come back. So this might be them already making their choice, but just to be on the safe side, I want to keep you holding on and keep you on the back burner just in case this don't work out the way I want it to. I got somewhere soft to land. Next, I get this Page of Cups, which is news and messages and communications about love and emotions, lovey-dovey messages, flirty behavior, expressing what it is, like expressing the emotions. Where over here on your side, I got the person who's not really expressing their emotions very much here. And over here they are, because they're trying to blend themselves together with something new, to create something new, and being defensive about that. See, this is the page, the talking about it stage of this love offer, this new love opportunity here. This is the talking about it stage. And then we advance to the Knight of Cups, which is the action taking stage. This is where we go from talking about it to doing something about it. This is moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, trying to advance this cup of love here, trying to move forward with this opportunity in some way. And notice they're moving away from this idea of teamwork and collaboration and working together as equals to build something together. They've got this defensive energy above the hole in that information right here. I don't think this person is talking to you. I think they made their decision based on what they see and what they want. And this other person they have all this attraction for, I think they believe the grass might be greener on that side of the fence, and hence I'm putting the brakes on this combined together thing with you, and I'm going to go down this new path towards something I have passion and desire for, this new opportunity here.